Hey gamers, welcome to episode 63 of Old Cinema Curse. Tonight, when we were in the middle of a conversation, I waited way too late to start focusing my attention on the task at hand. Tonight, Halloween begins with a little pregame. We're talking about 3 recent movies: Zach Kreger's Weapons, Jordan Peele's Him, and somebody else's The Long Walk.
That is Justin.
I am your Wicked Game Master, Lloyd Crews, and I am joined here today by Bri Robert.
Hey guys, how are you?
By Scott Heaton.
Hey everyone, good to see you.
And by Daisygreen Stenhouse.
Hello.
And her cat.
And my cat.
What's her name? You gotta introduce her.
Her name is Linus. Linus, like from Snoopy.
Nice. From Snoopy.
The comic strip Snoopy.
I'd like to thank Marina Sakamoto and her band Shunkin for the use of their song Curse off the EP She Nods for our opening. It's been 694 days since the strike ended and the AMPTP still sucks. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Living
Yeah.
best times.
Yeah, everything's going great in the
Everything's
country.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best times to be an American, I'd say.
Yeah,
Proud to be.
top tier America stuff. Speaking of top tier America stuff, I've got a guy's face behind me that I'll reveal when I actually bring him up in the context of this. But first we're gonna talk about Him. Him is the new movie. It's like a football horror movie. It's about a guy who has CTE, aka a football player, and he goes to train with this kind of older legacy guy who's like close to retiring, which is Marlon Wayans, whose performance is probably the funnest part of the movie. And things get weird because, I mean, the one thing the movie gets very right is that American football culture is fucking weird. And there honestly probably should be more. There should be like a better version of this movie that exists.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of a great premise. And because specifically behind me is Aaron Hernandez. And last podcast on the left actually did a series on him recently. I assume they probably thought that Him was going to be a bigger hit than it was.
Is he one of the ones who's killed a wife or something like that?
I don't think he killed a wife. I think he killed just like random.
Killed somebody else.
He had like some connections into gang stuff, and he just started going like fucking nuts, essentially.
Okay.
Just getting like really paranoid, and like he would just like I think the first person he killed, it was like a guy who like literally just like looked at him. Or something, and the problem was he would get mad all the time about people eyeballing him, but he was also a really famous football player, so of course
tough combo.
Everybody was eyeballing him all the time, and
Oof.
yeah, it's I think there's something to be said about like that the descent into madness and stuff, or to do it with as like a horror movie, or wrestling would be the other one.
Never for the trailer. Never. I mean, I know horror is very subjective in the ranges, but I never got even the. And I'm very rare to see this, but even the tapping of horror. That was where.
Yeah.
Is it horror and just like the trauma of this footballing?
Yeah. You want to take that, Scott?
It's more horror in that it's, I don't know, like, you know, like spooky and kind of like a bunch of like weird shit's going on. And like, you know, it's, what if Midsommar was about football and boring?
Interesting.
It pushes that. It does actually go that far into like weirdness.
Eventually, kind of.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, at one point, but yeah, it's closer to that. Like that.
More than I would have expected from the trailer. Let's put it that way.
Is it
like one of those? I did not see it, but what's that movie with Adebayo and John Malkovich? Like
Opus.
Oh yeah.
Like it's another one like those movies where
No, I just saw
take your cell phone. It's a little bit of a cult
Blink Twice
worship.
from last year was a
No, it's the new one that Flying Lotus just did. He did the score for it. Shit, my brain is not working with it. I know I saw it. It's very, very mid.
But I think he's talking about structure specifically. Like
that's what happened. I'm trying to just think of the movie. But yeah.
And yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'll just throw up spoilers in case people out there being care. I think what's interesting,
given box office, I would suggest people do not care.
It doesn't commit one way or another, and I think that's its biggest flaws. It doesn't commit hard enough to being a supernatural thing or being a psychological thing. It kind of tries to split the difference and like center the movie on the mystery of which one it is without really trying to like make that a satisfying thing within itself. Whereas I feel like a better version of this probably answers that question earlier and is able to like delve into the metaphor a little bit. There's like a very small amount. I guess this is literally like all of the information we find out. We find out that Marlon Wayans has been getting blood transfusions, and we think earlier that it's from himself, basically, that he's like storing blood when it's like in a good, like highly oxygenated or whatever. That's like excuse he gives, but it's from this previous football player who got it from a previous football player, got it from a previous. And so they have like a fight at one point, but they never go into that anymore at all. That would have been cool as its own premise too. And then the guy emerges, he kills Marlon Wayans, he goes onto this field, and all the like white people in charge of like the actual team are there and trying to get him to sign a contract. And it's kind of implied it's like a satanic devil thing, or like demonic in some way. And there's a little bit of a supernatural. One character at the end gets pulled into the circle and blowed up into blood. And there's some cool, I mean, that part's pretty fun before that, where he gets,
I was
he just starts
doing that part, but also I was so bored of that part. I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, he does go like ape shit on all there's basically like this crew of white people. The main one we see the most of is his agent, who's played in probably one of the other more fun aspects of the film by Tim Heidecker.
Fun.
And the main guy just like, instead of signing the contract, and another fun performance, Marlon Wayans' wife is Julia Fox, and she's like, and she's trying to get them to sign it, and the main guy goes like fucking nuts and just kills them all.
I do have all of my friends who've seen it have seen it because Julia Fox is in it.
Yeah.
So they're coming at it from a really different angle.
They got their money's worth then.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're probably pretty lucky.
Yeah, they're having a fun time, I think.
More than anything, I just thought it was boring. Like, it's just dull. It had nothing really. I didn't think it had much to say about football or religion. Like, the premise was, what if football really was a religion? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, what? Like,
Yeah. It needed to either it needed to either go like more full hog on the supernatural, replacing stuff. The devil worship seems to be like irrelevant almost, or it needed to go the other way and needed to really lean into it being like a psychological thing about a guy going like fucking crazy or something, and you know, maybe part of it would be that like Marlon Wayans has already gone down that path and is crazy, and then it's sort of more about him seeing the fact that in order to get this success, this stuff he wants, he has to like become a monster or something. Like that could have been something, you know. And probably one of the better scenes, which they show in the trailer, is one where when he like fucks up a pass, they like shoot a football like straight into this dude's face, essentially, thus sort of motivating the main guy to get his like shit together, because he doesn't want this other dude, this is somebody he doesn't even know, getting hurt. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's I thought it was pretty funny. I think I probably liked it more than you, but I also agree, like, I'm never gonna watch this again, so I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone.
One thing that bothered me is they kept talking about the GOAT and how, like, oh, I want to be the GOAT. Who's going to be the next GOAT and stuff. And, like, GOAT stands for greatest of all time.
Yeah.
It's not a position that gets passed, like, from one person to another. Well, you decide who the GOAT is, and that's it.
If they wanted to go into the satanic thing, it could have been like it could have been at the end you find out that it is an actual thing.
Yeah,
but
or something.
No, not really.
But no. Instead, they just kept talking about like being the GOAT. Who's the next GOAT? And it's like, that's not how GOAT works.
Right.
They need to create a little collab with Hereditary.
That's That's Edwin's writing. I don't know. I botched that. I had the thought in my head and I couldn't get it out quick enough. But like the way Edwin has like 50,000 movies that are like his favorite movie of all time. Scott, do you want to move on?
Yeah, sorry. I was letting
what a lively discussion about him.
The amount of like video on demand, kill it after
him. Yeah. Next up is The Long Walk.
We got
based on author Richard Bachman. Some may know him as Stephen King. A novel he wrote, I think in the like
70s. Most of the Bachman books were like really early on.
Yeah.
It's funny too because, like, not to interrupt your summary, but it's very Stephen King. The movie, I haven't read the book, but I assume I've heard that it's like a pretty relatively faithful adaptation, like, and stuff. And so I can't imagine if like you called it. Well, I'll let you describe it. Go ahead.
In like 19. Oh, what am I thinking? The premise of the movie. Sorry, the premise of the movie is basically it's a dystopian future. There's been some economic collapse. The U.S. has had an economic collapse, so every year, one boy from each state is selected into the Long Walk, which is winner takes all. You just continue walking, and if you slow down beyond 3 miles an hour, you get one warning, a second warning, a third and final warning, and then you are shot in the head. And you just keep on walking until last man standing. And the movie is the Long Walk, is that contest. So yeah, you're right. It is very Stephen King. You're right. If they had never mentioned Stephen King, if they had only just said Richard Bachman, or just not mentioned it at all, it would have read Stephen King. It felt very Stand By Me.
Yeah, especially the way the characters are interacting. Especially there's like the friends, and then there's like the one guy who's like a fucking insane like asshole, and there's like this kind of smart talking one, and then there's like the guy who's kind of an outsider, but by the end you kind of like him. And
I do like that, Scott. I like that you mentioned Stand By Me, because when Connor texted me about what that movie was about, because I did not know, he said it's like Stand By Me, but what if when you walk slow someone died?
Yeah, I think that was essentially
Pretty much.
like, yeah. I feel like which one came out? I don't know which book came out first, but I feel like when King was writing one, he was like, either he thought like more people should die, or he'd like to do this where less people die.
Right.
Stand By
or the
Me
other.
came out,
like,
I think, significantly later. Maybe not significantly, but
okay,
it's
so
part
then
of.
he was like, you know what? I really like those guys, but what if
Right. I
did
miss
that with
those
someone-
kids.
What if I did one where like we didn't shoot them in the head?
Yeah.
Right.
10
What if they
minutes?
just get leeches in their tiny whities?
In fact, that is that's a novella, and it's part of a book called Different Seasons, which is 4 novellas. It's Stand By Me, which is called The Body originally, Shawshank Redemption, and 2 other things that have been adapted, but none as prominently as those.
Way to go. Good for you, Stephen King.
Yeah.
Say the movie was about as good a movie as you could make out of this premise.
Kind of
'cause
exactly.
It is just them walking, talking, and getting shot in the head.
I mean, he's
Okay.
got used to by now with his adaptation history, you know.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like he's got to be used to like they can't be adapted, you know. The amount of like wins versus losses of it. I think.
Yeah, I mean, this one was good. I would recommend it.
It is good.
And, it gets a little repetitive, but that's almost by design.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny we're talking about this during the horror, and it's putting the horror, but I think of it more as a war movie, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys bonding, they're on this suicide mission. They all know that the odds are not in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
And the main relationship between the 2 main characters is incredible. They're great. You really like them both. So by the end,
would it be better as a miniseries then?
No,
or is there just not enough material?
No, there's not enough material.
I think what I said immediately after it ended when we were watching is it almost feels like something more in the opposite direction, where like those old anthology shows where it would be like a 55 minute long adaptation.
That sounds like
it feels like at a movie, and especially at an hour 45, it's kind of stretching. I think the movie probably, like, the best version of this movie is probably about 20 minutes shorter, but it's literally probably this movie with like 20 minutes cut out almost, or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They like just went over the point of going like no return. They're like, yeah, we can't make this a 90. We got to go and
But those 3
maybe that's not possible because it did, like, you didn't get to know them all and stuff. I'm not exactly sure what I would cut. I guess let's make the whole thing a little tighter.
You probably have to go back to like the writing and cut out like 2 of the main characters potentially.
Honestly, some of the stuff
it's by the Hunger Games director?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
Not the original
Wow.
one, but the guy who did
the guy who did most of them. I mean, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, I like movies where people are gonna all mostly die because of some dystopian situation.
Good director, because I saw the trailers for this, and I wasn't really that looking forward to it because it seemed very bleak.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's not how I would describe the movie.
Okay.
There's that bleakness throughout it, obviously, but like it, like I said, it's Stand By Me with this awful cloud behind it.
Right.
So I like I said, maybe just a little tighter. The things I would cut out, I was going to say, is maybe actually some of the more like gruesome deaths. Like honestly, if you just like of characters we didn't know that well.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like if you just like saw like, oh hey, we haven't seen that guy, he's gone, and like like, well, that's
those 2 central performances, Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson, are really great. And then I would say the third performance that also is really good and helps the film a lot is the villainous Mark Hamill as the general, who is only in it a handful. Oh, we got another cat.
Which
Which one's this one?
This one's Edgar.
And they've got a cream tux.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark Hamill's really good in it too as the
I like that he's, sort of finding because I feel like he fully kind of dropped out, and then now he's finding a second wave.
I'm excited that he's now I'll talk about this. I've been watching a bunch of Mike Flanagan miniseries, and he's now one of Flanagan's all-stars. I would put him, because he was in the Fall of the House of Usher, and he was in the fucking movie that he made this year that's kind of mid, but
Life of Chuck.
Yeah. And so presumably
that's also Stephen King, isn't it?
That is, yeah. That's a short story.
Good.
Yeah. Written a lot of stuff. There's a short story I want to adapt.
But to be fair with Flanagan, though, he got The Shining. I mean, to be able to like do what he did to somehow make a sequel to The Shining and actually be legitimately good.
Yeah. Dr. Sleep's amazing.
Yeah. And Gerald's Game is pretty good too.
It is.
I haven't seen that one. Yeah.
Which that was his first King adaptation, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one. If people don't know it, it's Carla Gugino. Is it Bruce Greenwood is the husband?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And they're like a slightly older couple, and they're having a kinky weekend in the woods, and they use a fucking handcuffs on her to the bed, and then he has a heart attack and dies, and she's like stuck there, and
that's fun.
Yeah.
It gets wild just because it's just a lot of hallucinatory type things, but then the real life stuff, and there's some gore that gets a little wild.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those that is just long enough and just enough material where it worked.
Yeah. No. 100%. That one was, I think, a little shorter, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: that story taught me the word degloving when I was younger.
Yeah.
For real.
Oh.
What a term.
What a term.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Let's move on to weapons.
To weapons.
To weapons.
Weapons.
Daisygreen.
It's a movie about snacks, as you can tell behind Connor.
Not just snacks, but like such an array of snacks.
Such an array of snacks. An array of hot dogs.
They had such a great weekend planned.
Weapons. Weapons is Zach Cregger's new movie. It is about a classroom of, what grade are they in? Third grade?
Third grade, yeah.
Third graders who at 2 a.m. one night, they all disappear, and their parents are real upset about it.
Yep.
And the whole community. The whole community's pretty rocked. And it's sort of a horror mystery. I would say there's a lot of mystery to like what happened to them, why this one third grade class and not the other third grade class. And people are pointing fingers. People are processing this disappearance in a variety of, I would say, mostly unhealthy ways.
Yeah, well, that's something we definitely should get into later, like one of the like ways you can interpret the film. But yeah, no, I think it's also kind of it is like Barbarian, a little bit of a comedy for sure. Like
it's very funny. It's very, very funny.
I loved it. I love Cregger. I love Barbarian. I think Daisygreen, as someone who's actually read my work, can attest that like there's a kind of similar slapstick element to the horror where it's like the funniness becomes because of like how fucking crazy everything gets, and less because of like trying to have it be funny or quips or anything like that.
Well, I think something I really like. I'm not the hugest horror person. I kind of like, I went through a big horror phase as a teenager, and then I was like, okay, I've seen enough people get like sawed in half. And you guys are like never enough.
No, I'm not the biggest horror. Like, these two got me far. I watched far more horror because I met these two.
Right. So for me, it does kind of take like it takes a little bit more to get me into the theater. And with Weapons, it did take people, and I have now done the same for people, of being like, it is more a real movie than it is a horror movie. So like, don't let horror turn you away from seeing it, basically. But also, I think if you love horror, there's so much to get out of it.
I told a lot of people, I think my best pitch is that for a movie about missing kids, it's a real crowd pleaser.
It is a real crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, Connor, about like the comedy of it, I think something I really appreciated, because sometimes with movies, and I would imagine maybe Him falls into this category, like you have that question mark that's like, am I laughing because this is supposed to be funny, or did we like cross over into like a uh-oh, it's bad, so I'm laughing?
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciate there's like a couple things in particular where like something violent will happen, and it's like he hits the beat so many times that you're like, oh, we've gone past like the first time it was a little bit scary, the second time it was a little bit funny, and then the fifth time you're like, you're cackling because it's happening again. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think, Bri? I know you weren't as big a fan as everyone else, but I know you really liked it still.
Yeah, you know, I really am. I'm really interested to see where his career goes. Like, he's one of those filmmakers that like I wasn't the biggest fan of Barbarian, and there was just elements of it. Like, I didn't hate it, but I just loved so much of like the first half that the second just let me down. But that's a whole other thing. But I think that's just subjective with horror fans too. You know, because I think I went into it thinking it was going to be one type of thing, and the humor and all that kind of stuff threw me off, I think, a little bit, and then just other things didn't. Whereas this, I felt like it basically walked that line so much better. Whereas you were going through each character experience, you kind of were able to have that dip into like darker elements, and then the funny, and then again when it got bananas, it really worked well with what he did with this one. So I'm excited to see what he's got, you know, the next couple. Yeah, he's probably one of the biggest, like up and coming like names to watch for sure.
Yeah, next up he's got his Resident Evil movie, which he wrote on spec and requested to do. So
that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, that says something like, I have enough power now
in the
industry.
Final cut.
Like, hey, yeah, that's great.
And it's going to it's starring Austin Abrams, who plays the junkie in Weapons.
Dope.
I love him.
Yeah,
it's good.
The movie kind of has like 6 chapters, each about a different character, and beyond that, there's just like, I feel like on a visual level, the movie is very obsessed with POV. Like, so much of the film is just either shot. It's like there's tons of shots that are just tracing people's points of view. Like, it's most of the movie, honestly.
That was actually probably the biggest, like, my favorite thing overall was the cinematography.
I noticed that each chapter began with a shot like from the character from behind, and then them facing forward, and like that.
Yeah, I really liked. I mean, I loved the chapters thing and how that like unfurled the mystery. You know, because I really do sort of love something that commits to a POV thing where you're like, you only know what this character knows, right? And I think that is also part of what felt like very grounded about this, what could be like a really outlandish, not grounded concept, right? But was that it's like, this sort of thing happens and everyone involved or everyone we're following just has like a sliver of information, you know, and that is part of what's so maddening and so terrifying, that you're like, I only know this one thing and I can't make sense of it. And if I just had answers, you know, maybe I could move on, maybe I could grieve, maybe I could rest, you know, any of that kind of stuff. And I think it like captured that like very sort of real and human feeling well through that POV thing, where you're then also for the audience getting like pieces of information that there are some times where we have information that the characters don't have yet, you know, and I think that was like a very some very masterful filmmaking, like whether or not it was your and whoever doesn't like it, fine. I think that was very detailed and well thought out, and I appreciate that filmmaking.
Yeah, I can only imagine the people who didn't like this, who saw it in theaters. Because like every time I saw it, the audience was just hooting and hollering.
Oh yeah,
like incredible audience reactions, and I just can't imagine someone being there like.
I know.
What was the sequence that broke it? That everybody just started to like laugh. So it was pretty early on, but there was like this one.
It's after Josh Brolin's dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
because I saw it like the 216 screening at Universal that day, and it was just the crowd was so geared and quiet in, and just everyone like lost it at that point.
Yeah,
and it was just a really fun. It became a different movie after that, and you're like,
right.
It's a ride we're on. Let's do this.
Yeah. And I think the next thing, like you're right, that's definitely the number. And then when Justin Long shows up, just everyone kind
Carry
of
on top of
just like, oh, what's gonna happen? Nothing.
Nothing. Just perfect sequence, basically.
Well, then what's interesting too is that leads into the one section of the movie where there isn't any the one chapter of the movie where there isn't any like supernatural shit, where it's all just like the human and like weird awkward comedy stuff. And so I think there is like an intentional, almost like it is almost like Barbarian in that way, where the first kind of third is really tense and stuff, and then it kind of lightens up a little bit, and then it then kind of goes nuts again.
It weaves it, because I think it's very, the juxtaposition in Barbarian is so very aggressively one to the other. So it's just, this weaves, and that's what I think I loved about it. And like the thing that when we started to realize the POV thing, the only thing that it could have gone off the rails, and this is a testament to exactly what you're saying, Daisygreen, with the like detail to each character and each story, that you're getting just enough of what you need where you're interested in the whole thing. Like I thought about that movie Vantage Point when I was watching it, and I was like, man, this shit can go off the rails so bad.
Right.
That was literally just like, oh shit, we're literally going to just watch another angle of the same thing. And we're getting, it was like imperative of why we were getting it. It was, that detail is so smart. And
no, and I feel like a lot of the time when people do that sort of POV switching thing, they're like, oh, it's just going to be cool, and then you're like, yeah, except I'm just watching the same thing 6 times from different people's POVs.
And they rarely repeat stuff in this, despite we're seeing different people's POVs. It's everything is revealing more
purposeful.
Like, it's just a story being told, but you just need to hear it from different points of view. Because like, I remember like asking like, oh, do you feel, I was wondering if I've seen it again for like a second time, oh, it's gonna like reveal more, be like more like, oh, they say this, and like now that I know what happens. There isn't really a lot of that. There isn't like you're just getting, it's just the story being told, and the way it needs to be told like it is. Like, we get all the information from the first character that we need, and then there's more information that we need to know as the audience, but they don't have that. So now we're going to talk to the cop. Now we're going to talk to the junkie. And then like the kid is the one that's like, all right, now let's just bring it home. Like now we kind of know everything. Let's actually explain what is happening.
Right.
Yeah. Great performance.
It's funny, I think that's where it definitely started to waver a little bit. By the time we got to his chapter, the kids, it was sort of like we kind of know a lot. It was almost like that's where it kind of pushed that line for me of just like, all right, let's.
I liked it because it was like, now let's explain the movie you've been seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now here's actually the story that you don't know. Mm-hmm. Like none of them know that they're in.
Yeah.
I guess can we throw spoilers up?
Well, before we talk about that, I wanted to mention a couple other little things, which is just that great performances. I'm so glad that this was the cast that came through. Because you can hear stories. I like Pedro Pascal, but I don't think he would have been nearly as good as Josh Brolin. Weirdly, I think
Josh Brolin,
he would have been better as the principal, honestly.
100%. Yeah, totally.
And it was interesting. I guess let's throw up the spoilers now. Bing. I mean, go ahead, Scott.
I was just saying, for the last chapter, none of the other characters knew they were in a witch story. Mm-hmm. They were in a fairy tale about a witch, and so we got all information with the 5 chapters, I think it was, and then the last chapter, like I said, is like, okay, now we're going to tell you why all this shit that you saw happened. You're in a witch story. It's a witch.
And you kind of get the reveal that that's what it is in the previous chapter.
In the one before that,
And I do think the movie also builds it in a way where because each chapter starts with the title card, the character name. By the time you get to those last couple, you know who the characters are, like the names are. So when the name pops up, you go, oh, okay, like especially those last two, Marcus and Alex. Yeah. You're like, you're very
waiting
interested.
for them.
You're like, I want to see what the fuck's going on with these fuckers.
Yeah.
And it was interesting hearing Kreger talk about his process, because I don't think he was specifically going after any targets in terms of like meaning in the film per se, but I think also the way he talks about like subconscious and his process means that there clearly is things that I think his subconscious was throwing up. I think there's clearly something about the culture of like schools and kids these days. David Hogg, the survivor from the Park Lane shooting, right, was just on the Adam Friedland show. Really interesting conversation. Hearing him talk about just between the time I was in high school and when he was in high school, how things had changed in terms of what things, and that is already like fucking 10 years ago, you know what I mean? And so how far has it gone even further? And instead of going after these things, it's like, we gotta like, you said husband? You said you have a husband, you fucker, in Florida, and no one's going after.
I'm sorry, what are we when you say
I think we're talking about guns.
Yeah.
I assume we're talking about guns.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, gun culture, but just like the way, even beyond just guns, just like bad things that are happening to kids. It's not the things that people are like clamoring about.
It's not that teachers are teaching any kind of like gay or racial history and that's corrupting everyone. It's that like most kids grow up with like fear that they're going to get shot in school, and the like sort of, I think the normal, like that is something that it's like, when I was in high school, I wasn't like going to school every day being like, hope I don't get shot, I think
never occurred to me.
I mean, it was like something that happened a bit, but it wasn't, I do think it kind of was, I feel like, and I think it's hard to watch this movie without having like at least a few thoughts about like Sandy Hook or something, like where I do feel like that was a real turning point where it's like with guns and schools in this country, I think once Sandy Hook happened and nothing changed, then it's like, oh, it's open season, right? This is just a thing that happens that we're never going to do anything about. It's just like we've accepted it for some godforsaken reason. And I think that's when then all of these kids, it's just like with increasing frequency, because it's just like, hey, this is a thing you can just keep doing and no one's going to stop you.
Or even, I think about the cat litter thing sometimes. You'll know about the cat litter thing. There is this...
I think so.
There was this right-wing thing where people were freaking out that like, oh, well, these kids, they're identifying as cats, so they got cat litter in the classroom and shit like that. And the truth was that they did have cat litter in the classroom as part of a survival bucket for fucking school shootings, so people could like take a shit and not like stink up the room or whatever. And
oh my God.
And so it's like, once again, it's like, instead of addressing actual issues, let's scapegoat some queer kids. Some imaginary queer
prayers work, okay? Just prayers. Pray work.
I do really like harder. I feel like this movie is like in conversation for me, at least with The Leftovers, in terms of handling like in a lot of ways, a very simple concept, right? Where it's just like, here's this one kind of supernatural thing that happens, right? And then the rest of the work is exploring like how normal people react to something they can't explain.
Yeah.
And like, that is just, I think, such a like detailed and fascinating way to like look at an event like that, which I think is also like, yeah, you can look at Weapons and think, oh, he's exploring this type of thing or this type of thing or this type of thing. But it's like, I think at the end of the day, it's just like how people react to anything that they can't explain.
Well, I think one of the two, one that's maybe not as interesting to talk about is that very personal things that Kreger talked about is that the last section with Alex is specifically about him and his personal experiences of growing up with alcoholic parents. Which I think you can clearly read that way. But a little more broadly, he's also talked about how each character represents a part of himself mourning a friend. I believe Trevor Moore, and it's interesting because I think most of them, it's like when you watch it from that frame, it's like pretty straightforward actually, because it's like, right. Julia Gardner is the part of him that made it about himself. Josh Brolin is the part of him that had to figure it out. The kid is the part of him that wouldn't talk to anyone. The junkie's kind of obvious. The cop and the principal are a little more obtuse. I'm not entirely sure how I would summarize them exactly, but yeah.
The principal kind of just didn't want to see the problem.
Yeah, it was just like out of sight, out of mind. And I think the cop was like anger, like suppression and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's just a given.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that is what's great to me about, and I do think is like the difference between a lot of movies being like good movies or meh movies is like, this is obviously about something, and you can then go and interpret what you think it's about and how it relates to you personally, and what you're taking away from it. But like, you can tell it's made with like a thought behind it and not just like, wouldn't it be cool if,
Yeah, I think that's what separates Weapons from a movie like Him, which like beyond even just forget like the symbolism of him, it had to be about something. It had to be like it had to be, forget like football and like religion, just it had to have like a story that it was trying to tell, and then it could add that stuff to it. Like you said, Weapons is a crowd pleaser. If you just want, it's a story about a witch that comes to town and scares the town. It's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Just like Barbarian could just be about a troll living in in a basement and stuff. Like it, but obviously there's more on its mind. But it also just delivers the goods. Like we haven't talked about the end, but like, man, is that a hoot? And just, I mean, our audience is just cackling. Like,
that's the point. You're just
there's laughter, but then this was like cackling.
Oh yeah.
Just yeah.
And yet, like, I still jumped too. Like, there were still jump scares where it's like you're both like sort of laughing because it's funny, and then laughing because you're nervous, and then jumping because it's scary. I think just emotions up here, which is fun. Like to just have a movie that elicits a lot of emotions.
I loved the car scene, which I won't elaborate. I won't describe too much of here. People should just watch it if they haven't seen it. But the car scene when the mom comes up and she stops and walks by, and you can hear everyone like kind of that is not funny, and then it's like he waits just long enough, and you hear that back door open, and you could hear everyone just like. It's like, and
the thing we were afraid is going to happen is going to happen.
Right. No, I mean, I think that's also where I do think you get a lot of like comedy people are very good at horror and vice versa, because they have the same formulas, where it is comedy, it's set up punchline, and horror, it's set up scare. And so I think this, I love horror comedy as a genre when it's done well, because I think it does, you're oscillating between those two things in a way that like you can kind of never quite expect, is it going to be a laugh or is it going to be a scare? And I think that's very fun.
Kreger actually talked about that on last podcast, and they even went into something further, which I don't think you hear as much, which is the idea that especially for like the type of, I mean, like there's some comedians, so I guess this isn't the same, but so much of the comedy is just thinking of like the most fucked up, like really fucked up things that could happen and how it would be funny in a way. And that's essentially what horror is also, but not funny in the same way. And so, it's a really good movie and everyone should see it. And I even something else is, it's also just interesting to watch like the kids, like which kids are which kids, like the fact that the kid in the flashbacks bullying the main kid is Josh Brolin's son, and the ending of the film implying that the kids are probably, because the opening of the film has the line that the kids never came back, and then at the end of the film we see them rescued, but they've been like magically sapped of power for so long, and there's something there about like
they never came back.
And like Josh Brolin, he wins at the end. He gets his kid back in his mind, but he like is thinking about it all wrong. Like there's almost an implication that he was maybe kind of a shitty dad, I think.
Definitely. The fact that he's never told his kid he loved him, like what the fuck?
But yeah, let's move on to a little bit of a
actually, just a quick, if I could, like a quick, just segue of a shout out, because you just reminded me with this horror comedy. We actually have in LA the Last Video Store. There are a bunch of amazing like comedians who do like horror themed stuff, and they're at the Hyperion, the lyric in Hyperion lyric. It's, I think that's saying that right, but yeah, they're just a really fun things. It's like I love the idea of like that horror comedy. You're right, it's bigger, mesh than not.
Yeah. Let me throw up my little general Halloween background, my cute little Halloween background.
Did you just type in like Halloween background?
I specifically typed in
low res Halloween background.
I will say exactly what I did. I typed in Halloween clip art, and then I went to tools and size. And I clicked icon size.
Nice.
Okay.
I think the only other further step is if you were like seeking out a GeoCities link.
Yeah. This is what I did. I did this last episode with that Scott Bakula picture. I did the same thing where I was like, find the smallest Bakula JPEG I can possibly find. I said earlier, I've been watching a lot of Flanagan shows. Midnight Mass is great. If people haven't seen that. Been rewatching Haunting of Hill House. Fall of the House of Usher is fun, but a little campy. I liked Alien Earth. I know a lot of people are fucking pissed about the show. I do think the last episode was a little underwhelming, but the people are like online, they're speculating like this was a Disney isn't, it's like Star Wars fan level stuff where they're like Disney's trying to undercut the legacy of the franchise. They're trying to make it so bad that it like they're producing it.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know. I think maybe you just didn't like it, but which is fine. And but I really enjoyed it as someone who likes Noah Hawley. We watched Possession for movie night a couple of weeks ago, which was a great, maybe not a great Halloween film, I would say, but a good horror movie.
Possession, like the long. Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It was my birthday choice this year for our Monday group, and I was like, no, because once I realized that really nobody had seen it, I was like, no, we all got experience.
Oh my god, the milk in the train station.
I was thinking about that earlier on because you're talking about something where it gets ridiculous to the point. That whole sequence gets so ridiculous, and then way beyond that it becomes so serious again that you're just like,
yes,
yeah.
And then by the end of it, when she's having the release of, it's just like, fuck, is this brutal?
There's a lot of the movie where I was just like.
I remember you said it was a very first half, second half movie.
Yeah.
It is a very first half, second half movie.
What do you mean? Like, huh? Like, this first half is bonkers.
Right.
What are you talking about? And then we got to that subway scene, and I was like...
Yeah.
I see. So
and then by the time like you're in like creature mode, you're like, oh, fine, okay.
Yeah. No, you're like, of course we're here. Where else would we go?
Which, speaking of creatures, I watched The Lure also, which is a good movie people haven't seen. It's a Polish horror comedy musical film about some mermaids who become part of like a nightclub band.
Okay.
And rewatched Night of the original Night of the Living Dead, which is still a great film. We talked earlier about, like, I think Romero is the one I think about the most in terms of horror when it comes to like stuff that you can watch just on a surface level, but that there's also like other stuff going on. Like his Of the Dead movies are like prime example of, if you just want to watch like a zombie movie, they 100% have all that, but they all have this like interesting subtext and character drama. Rewatched From Beyond, which is a great goopy classic. That's one of the goopiest movies ever made.
I watched it recently as well. I think because I saw you watch it, I was like, I'm due for a one. It is just bananas. It is.
And I have a longer spiel to end this section with, but anybody else got any good horror stuff they've been into lately?
Nah, for me, October just hit, so I'll start now. But
yeah,
I never stop watching horror, so October means
I know.
That's part of my whole thing, is that I'm always just watching a lot of horror movies, so it's not that big of a difference. But
well, this year I was actually going to think about doing Hooptober, and then I looked at the list, because I've never done it. And then I looked at it, I'm like, I just watched like 6 of these. Like, I'm thinking about it. I would watch most of these, and I'm just like,
well, that's all my thing, is that every time I look at one of those lists, I'm like, I know there's going to be like 15 other movies I'm going to need to watch in October too. So like, you're really making me watch like 45 movies. It's like, I don't know, like.
And this is where I just get lost in whatever. Give me just the channels, and I'll find it and I'll watch it. I mean, I caught a couple of things because I've been doing Beyond Fest pretty hard, and I saw Good Boy is really pretty fun. Like, it's a super cute movie with Indy the dog, who it's basically a horror film, like a haunted house ghost story from the point of view of the dog. So like, basically, obviously don't understand anything about spirits and ghosts, whatever. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna seek my way through this, and it's fun. Like, it's just tons of backlighting and stuff going on, so it really feels like that you're just lost in the dog and what his thoughts are the whole time. Weirdly, at times it reminds me sometimes of Skinamarink, and just the approach of doing something that's very singular in that idea, which is where it kind of does different things. But it's definitely worth seeing. Indy the dog is an absolute star. Primate, which is going to be a Paramount film, is awesome, very gory, and did not expect that for a Paramount film. And it's basically nothing more than a rabid monkey who is on an island where its masters, the rich people, live, and it just gets rabid and goes bananas for the entire
we actually already saw the best monkey goes.
Oh God, no, I was texting Connor this. Literally, the guy who introed it was like, anybody seen Shakma? And I'm like, fuck yeah. But I was like, literally like one of 7 people.
Shakma!
And I'm like, no. Yeah, I was like, this is Shakma. And so it actually came up quite a few times, and I texted Connor, I'm like, this actually would be a great double, is Shakma and Primate for sure.
We'll talk more about Shakma in 2 episodes, because we're literally talking, that's like one of our main topics. But Shakma Daisygreen is a classic for Monday Night Movie Nights. It's a classic horror film about a killer baboon who gets unleashed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Gets unleashed upon a bunch of students playing a nonsensical like D&D scavenger hunt in a building, and then everything takes forever, and but there's a handful of shots of the baboon just going like fucking nuts, and those are all really fun.
There's also a bunch of shots of the baboon walking into a room that's just adorable. He's like,
it's like, oh, he looks like he's walking like people.
One thing that I have to say about Good Boy, which I find very interesting, I haven't seen it yet, but there is another dog POV horror movie coming out, or that went into production, I think, this year, or at least it was announced. I don't know if like Good Boy like jeopardizes that one, but it is like a funny. It is funny how like those things happen at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
like for sure.
Always, where you're kind of like, oh, no one's done a horror movie from the dog's POV yet.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, 2 are actually in development. Mm-hmm. One's called Good Boy and one's called Bad Boy. So
that's the, some people would say it's IP theft and people trying to get one over on another. I would say, and David Lynch would say, that it's part of it's the big, unconscious of the world. And
I think it is. I mean, I think it's like a no strings attached, friends with benefits situation. Just a classic one of those.
Yeah. The theme of Beyond Fest.
Right about it.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say the overall theme this year is a David Lynch T-shirt that people have been getting with the slow. The tagline on it is what is it? Keep your eye on the donut, not the hole.
Yeah.
And and that is such a good thing to have remembering, because we all are in that kind of situation everywhere, but just film wise too. It's like, you know what? I'll have at it. It's all good. We're all moving forward. But but I do know
next year, cat POV.
Yeah,
that's you heard it here first.
No, I watched those POV where they strap the cameras on and they just they're out. Like, I love those videos. I mean, they get into some shenanigans.
They do get into shenanigans.
Great. I would watch an entire film on the Egyptian screen, front line. Be very happy doing that.
Well, to end this section, unless somebody has something else, I was gonna do a brief. I've been rewatching through the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th movies, and I've watched through the first 5 of each. And I had a brief summary of my thoughts, which is who I know, Bri, you've seen all of them at some point. Scott, Daisygreen, how many of them you've seen?
I've seen the first of each.
Oh, wow.
I've seen like the first, I think I've seen the first Friday the 13th and like Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
And
I saw 1 and 3 with you for the first time at the Vista, the Secret Movie Club.
That was Nightmare. Nightmare.
1 and 3.
I'd say for for Freddy and Jason. Freddy, I've only seen. For
Jason.
No, Friday the 13th, I've only seen the first one. I have also seen Freddy vs. Jason, and then in Nightmare on Elm Street, I have seen the first one and the third one.
Interesting. It's I would say my favorite of all these movies is the first Nightmare. My least favorite is the 5th Friday, which would make you think that they both have just went on a downward trajectory, but it's not true, because my favorite Fridays are actually 4 and 6. People haven't seen a lot of the Friday the 13th. You'll have seen the first one, so you'll know that the first one is more of like a giallo horror slasher, like with the like black gloved hand POV killer, and it's the mom, and Jason's just a little shrimpy guy in the thing. And it's not until the second one that we get big, bulky, sort of like stupid Frankenstein mama's boy Jason, and even then he wears a burlap sack. It's not until the third one when some guy, for some reason, has a hockey mask he's using to spook people, also for some reason. And I guess Jason, despite having a different body type and despite never in any other capacity in any of these films showing adeptness at trickery, he decides, I'm going to put this mask on to trick the person into thinking it's this other person. And then he just has the hockey mask for the rest of the movie.
It is funny. Cool. It is funny, though, that it's like, as someone who has not engaged much in this, that it's like that's his iconic look.
Yeah. It takes till the third one.
Films. Yeah,
and the third one isn't even that good either. The third one is mostly preoccupied. It's the 3D one with doing like,
oh my god, I love the 3D Final Destination is one of my favorites for that reason.
This is even more. This is like super gimmicky, but then the 4th Friday, they kind of like figured it out. The Friday the 13th, the final chapter, there would be 8 more films in the franchise. But that one also has.
We did it once.
Yeah.
Do it again.
That one has Crispin Glover as one of the kids who gets killed in a great, weird, very Crispin Glover-y performance. And it ends with Jason dying. They retcon that at the beginning of the 6th one, but then in the 5th one, which sucks, It's basically the kid who played by Corey Feldman in 4, who kills Jason, is now grown up, and it's like a copycat killer. In the movie, you think it's like the big red herring is that you're supposed to think it's the kid grown up, Tommy Jarvis, but it ends up being like a guy who is like unrelated, who just like was like related to a guy that got killed. But everyone in 5 is such a fucking asshole. Like everyone's talking like these are literal quotes. There's like a mom talking to her, like a hillbilly mom talking to her hillbilly son, like, eat your fucking slop, you dildo. And there's like a part when somebody dies and the coroners come up, and one of the coroners is like kind of like looking at how grossed out everyone is, and we just see him go, fucking pussies, as he's like zipping up the bag. And it's like, why is everybody so wretched in this? And
I just love that the script was like multiple times gone over, and like that's the perfect line.
Yeah.
Exactly,
it's very. It reminds me of Rob's. I like. Is this where Rob Zombie got it? Like,
maybe.
But yeah, First Nightmare on Elm Street, great film. Everyone's seeing it. Second one, underrated film. Doesn't make any sense, but has a very interesting gay subtext that the writer knew about. The director apparently didn't know about, but when you watch the movie, you kind of go, what? Like, how
come they're having sex?
Yeah. Well, it's nothing that, but there is a scene in the shower.
Yeah.
And
boys will be boys shower scene.
3 is another classic, and that most people, that's the one where they learn to fight back, Dream Warriors. And then 4 and 5 is when you start getting into diminishing returns, but still pretty fun, especially all the big set pieces.
Yeah.
I do think they start getting, some of like his deaths get so elaborate or so stupid that they stop being scary. But 4 does have, because sometimes Freddy will like chase you around like a spooky maze and then just stab you. And then sometimes Freddy will like make your arms bend backwards, and then you have like a American Werewolf in London style transformation sequence where you like hideously transform into a big bug, and then you like get small, and then he squishes you, and it's like it's fucking crazy. Like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, but that's the cocaine era of Hollywood, where you're like, well, we got this fucking money, let's just do this shit.
Yeah.
You know.
And that there's something to really appreciate about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cocaine, I think it's time to move on to Connor's Wicked Game, sponsored by Cocaine. Every week, like Jigsaw, I like to play a little game. This week, who and what and when and who else? Halloween edition. We've played this one before. I think everyone has played this one before. I'm going to read 2 characters' names, really how the actor was billed, played by the same actor the same year. One at a time, and for 1 point each, you're going to give me A, the actor, B and C, the 2 movies, and D, the year. If you get it wrong, we move to the next person. If everyone gets one detail wrong, we end the question. And it's Halloween, so one of these movies is a horror movie each time. And none of these actors are particularly obscure. A couple of the films might be. Let's see. This person. Okay. There's 2 other things, but I'll wait a second before introducing those. We'll go ahead and start. We'll start with Bri. So there's just one at a time. Only one person is going to be able to get points for most of this stuff. Justine Gandy and Shala Bell, aka the Silver Surfer. What actor played these 2 roles the same year?
Who's this to?
Bri. Justine Gandy and Shala Ball, aka the Silver Surfer.
Do we have any multiple choice, or just
No,
like straight up?
You have to say the name.
Right.
It's gonna go to you next, Daisygreen. So.
Great.
No, but it's Julian Garner. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yes. And what are these 2 films?
Weapons and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. And the year?
2025.
Correct. That is all correct.
That was fucking intense.
Man.
The second part is I've been using. So that's how the first part of each question is going to go. Using IMDb's advanced search function, I have a list of all collaborators between the two films, and so everyone's going to get a chance to bet on how many the two movies share. And this is going to be for 2 points, whoever gets the closest. And then I might give some bonus points if there's like notable other people. But I have up, so this is including Julia Garner. How many people do you think Weapons and Fantastic Four at First Step shares, Bri?
Let's see. Say 3.
Daisygreen?
6.
Scat?
2.
2 points for
Price is
Scott.
right.
It is exactly 2.
Wow. Is it Julia Garner and Julia Garner's assistant?
It might be. I don't think so. He looks like he's a camera and electrical department guy. So.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with this one. You, Daisygreen. Who played Eric Draven, aka the Crow, and Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu, the same year?
It's the young Skarsgård. Is it Bill?
It is Bill Skarsgård. Can you name these films?
Yes, it is Nosferatu and The Crow.
Yes. And the year?
2024.
Correct. And besides Bill Skarsgård, how many collaborators, I mean, including Bill Skarsgård, I should say, how many collaborators do these two films share?
3.
Scott?
4.
Bri?
9.
That's 2 points to Bri, because
Those are Skarsgårds. Give me a goddamn break.
the movies share 42 people.
I was gonna say.
It looks like a lot of visual effects and music department people. It looks like there's a lot of music department and visual effects that the movies shared.
That makes sense. They've got the same saxophone player on both, you know.
Probably a similar budgety range, if I had to guess, too.
Yeah.
This one we're gonna start with you, Scott. Sorry, I only had 2 like super obvious ones, but this one's pretty obvious too. Scott, who played Jackson Ripner and Dr. Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, the same year?
Cillian Murphy.
Correct. And can you name these 2 films? Or can you name these 2 films in the year? I'll let you jump around.
What was the name of the first character?
Jackson Ripner.
I'm going to say the year is 2008.
As incorrect.
Right.
Bri, do you have any guesses about year and or movies?
I feel like 2005.
That's correct on the year.
Okay, so maybe then 28 Days.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
Daisygreen.
2004.
You said one is horror?
One of them is a horror movie.
Okay.
It's probably it's probably the one where he's named Jackson.
Red Eye?
It is indeed Red Eye. And no one has named the other film yet.
Can I try?
The other film is Batman Begins.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Bri. You should have done that
No,
before.
that's fine because I was actually wrong and
Scott, how many collaborators, including Cillian Murphy, do you think these two movies share?
14.
Bri?
15.
Daisygreen.
Piece of shit.
5.
There's 8, so that goes to Daisygreen.
Nice.
Karma for me.
My boy, Killian.
All right, we're back to Bri. Also, everyone's gonna get some lifelines from here on out. Everyone's got 3 helps, which means I will give you one of the answers. You won't get points for it, but it'll maybe help you know more about what the other answers could be, and you get to choose.
I also have a random idea for a future game for you. You should have Edwin be a phone a friend during these games.
If he answers.
It won't, right? It's like Edwin's choice.
That's the biggest gamble.
Yeah.
And everyone has a gimme dat, which is you can say at the beginning, before the first person starts answering, and basically any points that are like generated by that person off this question, you also get. So if you think someone's going to be good at one. So Bri.
And we get one gimme dat?
Yeah, you get one of those. Bri. Laurie Strode and Deirdre Boubierdra, I think is how this character's name is supposed to be pronounced. Laurie Strode and Deirdre Boubierdra. What was that?
I have no idea. I don't even know what you just said, so I have no idea that. I mean, so what am I gonna name a movie? What am I doing?
You're naming the actor who played these two characters the same year, Laurie Strode and Deirdre Boubierdra. Okay.
Sorry.
Correct. Do you know the names of either of these movies or what year?
Well, Halloween. I got Halloween, 1978.
Incorrect.
77.
Daisygreen.
She's been in a lot of Halloween movies.
Well, yeah. Wait, incorrect on the year or the film?
Both.
Okay.
It's your Daisygreen.
I'm Daisygreen for what the. I don't know the names of the other Halloweens, so that's gonna really screw things up for me. Deirdre Boubierdra. Mm-hmm. Oh, is it Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Correct.
Nice.
That is her full name is, I think, Deirdre Boubierdra.
Of course it was, yeah.
And
so then it's the new Halloween. It was Halloween Ends.
That is another point.
Okay.
And year
I'm gonna get wrong. Because my memory of time is real bad. 2022.
That's another point.
Oh, nice.
All right. We'll start with you, Bri. How many do you think these two?
Didn't I just start?
Shared. You did, but I'm going back to you for the amount of collaborators.
Oh, right. 15.
Daisygreen.
11.
Scott.
109.
Daisygreen gets it because it was 1. It was just
Okay,
Jamie.
just Jamie. Wow.
Damn, I should have gone the other way.
We're gonna start with you on this one, Daisygreen. Janie Carver and Ripley 8.
Yeah, this is not something that I know. Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, that's not an answer to any of these. For this one. Scott?
But always a good guess. I'm going to say Sigourney Weaver.
That is Sigourney Weaver. Can you name the movies? And or
I
year?
know one of them is Alien Resurrection.
Correct.
And what was the character of the other one?
Janie Carver.
I'm going to say year 97.
That's correct.
I don't know who the fuck Janie Carter is.
Wait, how did you know it was Alien Resurrection and not one of the other?
It's Ripley 8. Yeah.
Ripley 8. See, that's why I see.
Yeah, she plays. There's a bunch of. Technically the original Ripley dies at the end of 3, and then in Resurrection there's a bunch of clones, and she's like the 8th clone. So. Did
not know that that's where it headed.
It's the best. Alien Resurrection's kind of underrated. I got to be honest. It's a weird
I like
movie,
it a lot.
And there's a great sequence where she finds a door labeled 1 through 7, and she opens it up and finds the 7 previous versions of themselves, and one of them is like, "Kill me, kill me," and it's like it's great, good stuff.
Okay.
There's also a scene where she has a basketball and just throws it behind her head and makes it, and she did that in one take.
Yep.
Badass.
Let's see. Yeah,
I think you were to Brian for the
to
other
Brian.
movie.
Yeah, who's Janie Carver from? Anybody got any guesses?
I do not know.
Daisygreen.
So we know it's 97.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver 97.
Yeah.
No.
That's the Ice Storm. Ang Lee's The Ice Storm.
Oh. I had to watch that as a reference for one of my cycle films.
Yes.
When we were in school together.
We're starting with you on this, Daisygreen. How many people...
Wait, I started with this one.
Yeah,
didn't
I know.
I?
This is the second
see.
part. How many people did they share, including Sigourney?
2.
Scott?
7.
Bri?
9.
Goes to Scott. It was 5. That was a close one, though. We're going to start this next one with Scott. Who played Eric Dessler, a.k.a. the Phantom, and Freddy Krueger the same year? Do you know Freddy Krueger's actor's name?
No.
England?
Yes, it is Robert Englund. Can you guess which Nightmare on Elm Street this is? I would take just a number.
Phantom?
What?
He also played the Phantom. What's the other character name? Like
Eric Dessler, a.k.a. the Phantom.
I'll say Nightmare 4.
Bri, any guesses?
Just zoom out real quick. I think Nightmare 3.
Daisygreen?
How many nightmares are there?
That's hey, how many grains are in a Santa?
Okay. Nightmare 8.
All right, this was Robert Englund. This was Nightmare 5, The Dream Child. It was also he was in a Phantom of the Opera remake that year. Off of it was like a B movie version of it. That was 1989. And
wow.
Scott, how many we got people we got to share between this ones?
2.
Right?
4.
What was that?
4.
Daisygreen?
5.
Points to Daisygreen. It was 6. There is a famous makeup guy here. I'll give a point if someone can name this person. Anybody? Robert Kurtzman, who's
Okay.
relatively famous.
Yeah,
with like Greg Nicotero and kind of the second generation after that generation that kind of in like the 70s, 80s. Next up, we're gonna start with Bri. Who played Clive Badger and himself the same year?
5. I can't think of that belongs to.
Daisygreen?
Can I get help?
Yes. What would you like to know? One of the movies, the year.
I would like to know one of the movies.
Which one? The Clive Badger or himself?
Himself.
Well, that movie, this actor plays himself in Zombieland.
Okay, so I'm going to say the actor is Bill Murray.
That is correct.
Zombieland, when did that come out? 2009?
That is correct.
Okay.
And the film in which he played Clive Badger.
Clive Badger. 2009 Bill Murray Clive Badger. Are we counting is Zombieland our horror movie?
Yes.
Okay.
The other one could be horror.
Right, but it doesn't have to be.
I do count Zombieland as a horror movie.
Right, it does not have to be horror. I don't know. Aloha.
Scott?
Broken Flowers?
Bri?
You said 2009?
Yeah.
Didn't he do like a bunch of Wes Anderson shit? I'm just trying to think the year. Was 2000, was that Grand Budapest or was it Moonrise? Grand Budapest, I want to say. 2009? No, Grand Budapest would have that.
Give me a guess.
2009. I don't. It's a Wes Anderson, I think. But I just can't think.
I'll give you a 0.1. I'm not gonna let everyone whiffed at it, but I think you know what it is now, Daisy Green. If you want to say, I'll give you a 0.1 also if you get this right.
I think it's 2009 would be Moonrise Kingdom, right?
No, Moonrise Kingdom was 2011, I think, right?
No, this
Really?
is Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, Badger.
His name's literally Badger, guys.
Right.
Wow. Is he not in Moonrise Kingdom? I'm now realizing.
No, he is. He's in that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
It was
Asteroid
2011?
City.
That was the thing. It was just such an output for. But like you
I know, such output. I keep how I'm doing the timing is that I'm like, did I see it? Like, did I see it in New York?
Dude, I was doing the same.
You know,
I moved
and
to LA
so
around, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I know I saw it in New York. I saw it at the like Regal 14 cinemas.
Totally.
So I'm like, I'm thinking pre-college, but I must have seen it, when I was home for some reason.
Including Bill Murray, Bri, how many collaborators do you think these two films share?
Oh God, 20.
Daisy Green?
Okay, wait. It was Zombieland and Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yes.
8.
Scott?
I'm gonna say 1. I think it was just him.
It was not 1, but you are the closest, Scott. It was 3. I will, for half a point, because I'm gonna have to give a clue. Well, actually, there is a music department credit shared between these two for 1 point. Does anyone have any guesses? I might give another clue.
Like who the person is or what the role is?
Who the person is. I'll say they're a classical composer.
Is it Hans Zimmer?
No. Any other guesses?
Beethoven.
Close. Bri? It's Mozart.
Wow.
So
Good for Mozart getting in there.
Yeah, really, like
Still working. Good for him.
Yeah.
Daisy
productions to
Green,
be part of.
who played Benjamin Franklin Gates and Fu Manchu the same year?
Nicolas Cage.
That is indeed Nicolas Cage. And can you name these two films? And or the year?
National Treasure.
Scott?
One of the movies is Grindhouse.
Correct.
Oh, damn.
And sorry, what is the other character name?
Benjamin Franklin Gates.
I believe it's National Treasure, Book of Treasures.
I'm gonna give you 0.9
Can I get 0.1 for the correct title?
for National Treasure. Sure.
National Treasure Book of Secrets.
Okay, yeah. Yes, correct. And can you give a year, Scott?
2009?
Bri?
I was around then. 2007?
Yep. That is 2007. That was one of the few movies I snuck into before I was old enough to see R-rated movies. How many?
Oh, did I have to sneak into that?
How many? Probably because you're a little younger than me, right? Not by much.
No, I would have been too young.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it in theaters.
I snuck in. I
snuck in.
How to sneak into these movies?
I snuck into a shit ton of movies.
Daisygreen, how many collaborators do you think these two films share, including Nicolas Cage?
16.
Scott?
8.
And well, I'm just gonna give it to you because that's you got it exact. You got it right on the money. It's indeed 8.
Thanks for taking away my guess, Scott. I was excited about
Scott, who played Armando Salazar and him the same year?
Give me the help. Can I get the name of it?
Yes. The name of the what?
Yeah, I guess give me the name of the actor.
This is Javier Bardem.
And him?
What?
No, I'm thinking. I have no idea.
No idea. Oh, Bri. Oh, Bri on the phone. Let's give him a second.
Yeah.
Are you on me by chance?
Yeah.
We are, yes.
It's
Sorry, what was
Armando Salazar and him, and it's Javier Bardem, but we don't have any of the names of the movies or the year.
What year was? I know Mother was one of them, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Which one is Mother?
Lee Aronofsky.
No. Which name?
Him.
Okay.
That was. I'm trying to think when I saw that at the theater now, not that long ago. 2017.
Correct.
What was the name of the other character?
Armando Salazar. Armando Salazar.
I'm gonna be so mad because I can imagine it. Shit. Can I get a help? Can I still have?
Yeah.
Thing? Yeah, I can get that.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point because it's the last one.
Nothing. Yeah, that's only one thing left.
You got any guesses, right. Daisygreen?
I want to say it's like a Bond. Is it Spectre or Skyfall?
Scott, any guesses?
Well, I already like.
Yeah, but you didn't fail in this part, I don't think. Oh, wait, maybe you did actually. Yeah, this is Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
How many collaborators do you think these two movies shared? Scott? How much? Sorry, you keep cutting out.
I think he's saying 11.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's saying 46. That's
Bri?
3. Try this.
And Daisygreen?
20.
2 points to Daisygreen. It is 18.
Nice.
So, by the way, I actually saw Q&A with Gore Verbinski last night.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Pirates. Yeah.
Is a lot of effects.
That one.
But let's see. Oh yeah, what is it? Right, I already closed that fucking tab. I'm guessing probably.
I'm assuming it's like a whole team of people.
Yeah, there's like a visual effects team. Yeah, and some. It looks like maybe a second unit director too.
Well, I think a lot of people came from DreamWorks with them, with all those stuff too. Like there was that mergers, I think, and all that stuff happened at that point.
All right, Bri, and I'll go ahead and Daisygreen, this is your last chance to use a gimme dat, so I'm just gonna automatically make you use it.
Oh, sure. Give me that.
And Scott, do you want to use yours for Bri or wait for the next one with Daisygreen?
Yeah, well.
You'll go ahead and use it now.
No, I'll wait. I'll wait. We'll each one will be.
Bri, who played Murray Futterman and Rob Garrett the same year?
Oh God, our favorite character actor, Dick Miller.
That is correct.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Gremlins. Gremlins. What character? God, it's tough. What's the other one? Not
Rob Garrett. Yeah, that is Gremlins.
It is the first, because I was trying to think of the first or second. It's obviously the same. Mm-hmm. What's the name of the second character? Rob
Garrett.
Oh God, was it? It wasn't Chopping Mall, was it?
It was not. Any guesses, Daisygreen or Scott, about in which movie Dick Miller played Rob Garrett?
No.
I have no idea.
Or the year that Gremlins came out?
1984.
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
And Bri, how many of those do you think we share?
7.
Daisygreen?
Wait, do we know what the other movie is?
Oh, it's The Terminator. Sorry.
Oh. 30.
Scott?
9.
It goes to Bri. It's only 3. It's a small.
Wow.
So
share. I get those points.
You got like the first. You got the Dick Miller and Gremlins points, the ones that Bri also.
Okay. What about he got 1984?
Oh yeah, that's true. No, that one I didn't get. It was like post, and technically it was on some deals.
Oh right, yeah, it was yelling things.
Lastly, I'm gonna use both y'all's gimme. Then everyone's got a little bit. Everyone has at least some of their helps. So people can use them. I'll give a little. If it'll make any difference, each one will be worth half a point if you don't use them. Bri, you've got all 3 yours. Daisygreen and Scott have 2. But Daisygreen, who played Francois Murnau and Father Lancaster Marin the same year?
Help.
which thing do you want help on?
So I can get either movie or the year.
You can get 2 things actually. You can get a movie and the year. Or both movies.
Yeah, why don't you give me both movies?
The 2 movies are March or Die, and which is kind of appropriate for this episode, and Exorcist 2: The Heretic.
Okay, I was gonna guess An Exorcist because Father.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know the year that came out or the actor. So,
Scott.
1990.
No. Bri.
It's OG. 1977.
That is correct.
I just can't think of the actor.
I'm sure R.I.P. to this beloved man.
Yeah, this is Max von Sydow.
Oh, Max von Sydow, of course.
And
Wait, I thought you said the movie was the sequel. Was The Heretic?
Yeah, he's in that one too.
Oh, yeah, he's in that one too. Yeah.
Oh, it's both. That's okay.
Yeah. And Daisygreen. How many collaborators do you think these 2 movies share? Exorcist 2: The Heretic and March or Die, a movie I've never heard of before, but it sounds like The Long Walk.
It does. 7.
Scott. Bri.
3.
You said 2, Scott? That is exactly correct. And just at the very end,
you shouldn't even let Brian guess.
you pulled
Honestly,
right ahead. Bri gets a bronze medal with 17.6 points. Scott gets a silver medal with 17.9, and with 22.1, Daisygreen, you get your first gold medal.
Yes. Wow, on the horror round. This is impressive.
Yeah.
So rigged.
Scott, you got your thing? Okay, let's cut Scott for...
All right, welcome to Scott's Comic Corner, brought to you by Eric Clapton and Crossovers. Crossovers, isn't it more fun to pay two corporations? So X-Men, first off, is starting their big Age of Revelation. This week, the Overture just came out by Jed MacKay. They've been setting this up for a while now. Back in X-Men 19, we met Doug Ramsey, how Doug Ramsey was being seen in the From the Ashes storyline. Then a surprise drop a few weeks later. That's when they announced Age of Revelation. This is Age of Revelation 0, which is sort of like, hey, it's going to be a weird future. And they sort of explain how Doug Ramsey came to power. And then last week we ended X-Men 22, and Doug shows up finally at the X-Men, and he asks to join, and Cyclops says yes. And when Cyclops shakes his hand, what's happening?
Oh my God.
Well, we get the answer to that this week. So Age of Revelation takes place 10 years in the future. Doug Ramsey has become Revelation, an heir to Apocalypse, and has created a mutant nation. And what happened to Cyclops is his consciousness has been brought 10 years into the future.
Okay.
And so now they haven't really explained why they need past Cyclops, but he's here. He's from the past. He's not sure what the fuck is going on, but the book explains it. And I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good little story. It's going to last about 3 months. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of books coming out, like all tied into this. They're all basically going to be miniseries, is the thing. You know, like there's a Sinister Six. There's a thing called Long Shots, which is a reality show by Mojo. Undeadpool. Deadpool's a zombie in this, you know. Most of it does not have to do with the main storyline. From what I understand, if you want the main storyline, just read the Jed MacKay stuff. If you're enjoying the X books, you know, any particular X books, find the writer you've been enjoying and you can keep reading their books. Like I'm going to keep reading Gail Simone, who is writing Uncanny X-Men, now will be called Unbreakable X-Men. Just like Jed MacKay's X-Men is now Amazing X-Men. This will last, like I said, this will last about 3 months, and then we'll be going back. Like, for example, X-Men 22 was what came out last week. In January, it'll be X-Men 23. We'll be getting a little bit more information about what the future of the X-Men series will be come New York Comic-Con. I know they're calling it Shadows of Tomorrow. That's going to be the next storyline. Now, moving on to DC. This week also had the Justice League special, the Omega Act, which is kicking off the big KO event of the year. This is had to do with Time Trapper and just sort of like getting all the pieces into place. The story's been bouncing around from different books and stuff. I've only really been reading Superman, which I think is kind of the main book of what's happening, but like all the books have kind of been dealing with it. Fun stuff, and so I've been looking forward to it. But the big crossover event happened a couple of weeks ago, and that was, of course, Deadpool Batman, which came out. The reason it's called Deadpool Batman is because it's a Marvel one. In a couple of next November of this year, we'll be getting Batman Deadpool, which will be the DC version of that. And I got several covers. This is the main cover, and then there's just this one.
It was a fun little story. I read it. I didn't buy a copy, but I read it. Honestly, I liked some of the backup stories even more. Honestly,
yeah. The coolest cover was this one.
Yeah.
So now about that crossover coming out in November. If you can, and if you're into this sort of thing, pre-order them now. I was at my comic shop, and normally they're pretty chill, but on Deadpool Batman Day, busy day for them, and it's sold out in one day.
Well, it's their first crossover in like decades, I think.
21 years.
21 years, and like I said, I really liked the backup stories were actually some of my favorite. There's a really good Captain America Wonder Woman one that's just about how much those characters would respect each other, essentially. And there's a really fun short one where Rocket Raccoon becomes a Green Lantern, and which was fun as well.
Apparently, it's not going to be 21 years until the next crossover. They just announced the next one comes out in March and April of 2026. It's going to be Superman, Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man, Superman.
Nice. Cool.
So, that'll be coming out next year. So, keep an eye out for those.
Sweet. Well, anybody got anything else? Hello, Mother, getting into genocide, Palestine, Sudan, everywhere else. I saw a couple good concerts recently. One I saw with Brian Scott here. We were at 9 Inch Nails.
Fun.
And that fucking ripped. And then I was also at the Hives last week by myself, and that also ripped. Completely different vibe, the Hives concert definitely hurt my back a lot more because 9 Inch Nails, you're dancing. It's kind of like this, It's kind of like like this. But Hives, you're like jumping up and down and stuff, and my fucking back was killing me. I felt like I got hit by a bus the next day.
Sure.
I went to go see Sparks on Tuesday.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I went to go see Big Thief on Saturday.
Nice.
Which was very fun. We've got Wrong coming up. I don't know when this episode comes out, but come see Wrong October and November.
Plug the November one.
Okay. Then let me find the date. The November show is...
You got a little backlog on the editing.
November 12th. Wednesday, November 12th.
Hell yeah. That's a super fun
at
show.
the Comedy Store. It'll be a very fun show. We've got a clown on, and great clown, and someone I went to elementary and high school with who's a very funny comedian.
Nice.
Fun.
Nepotism hire.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thanks to Bri here for composing our outro.
Nice.
James Bond Club is still commencing in late November with the first 2 movies. Next episode, though, in a couple of weeks, we're going to do... Speaking of 9 Inch Nails, Trent is forcing me to see a Jared Leto movie. And so we're going to be talking about the new Tron and the Tron films, which I haven't seen any of.
Me neither.
So
I've only seen the second one.
I'm going to be watching those in the next 2 weeks, and I'm thinking of Tron Ares less as a movie and more of like a big 9 Inch Nails music video. And in that sense, I'm excited about it. But yeah, follow us on TikTok and Instagram at CinemaCrew666. Smash that like button, like and subscribe, share this episode with your local horror host on television. Is that a thing that people still have, like in fucking Fright Night? I don't think so, but it'd be cool. It's cool to think about the idea of that being a thing that still happens.
Yeah, local TV, just...
Yeah. But anyways, well, bye-bye!
Bye-bye!